Hi guys, I wanted to do this video to point something out that when it comes to a lot of these missing cases that so many people have heard about regarding how many of the victims are found near water, the reason why that fact doesn't really mean much to me is because everywhere that I've ever gone in my life and have ever stayed in the outdoors, I have been surrounded by water. There's really nowhere I can go in New York to get away from water. Right here is the pond across from my house. Right here in the back of the property is a big triple pond slash swamp. I did a video of fishing that last year. Down here in these woods where I do my videos, there is a creek that runs right through here. This is the main creek, Ball Creek. This is a trout stream, but all through these woods right here are a whole network of little streams. Whenever I go back in those woods, I am walking through them, I am stepping through water. There is water everywhere. So if I back up a little bit here, I got a pond in front of my house. I got water to the side of my house right here. I got creeks right here in the backyard. I got a trout stream that meanders all right through here behind the house. And if I go just right down the highway right here, only 1.2 miles from my house, 1.2 miles from my house is a gigantic 16-mile long lake. Right there. This huge lake. I live right here. So if I drop dead in my own yard, could you say that I was found near water? What do you think that answer would be? Yes. When there's a pond right there, a swamp right there, whole bunch of streams right here, and a trout stream right here, and look at this 16-mile long lake that is 60 feet deep. Now, let's back up a little bit more. Oops, there's Lake Erie. Look at that. 45 miles across to Canada. There's Canada. This is the line of the Canada and United States border. Okay, let me back up a little more. Because to the Pennsylvania state line, right here, just my county alone makes up 50 miles of the North Lake Erie shoreline. If I were to zoom in really, really close, there is literally waterways and water everywhere throughout my entire state of New York. Everywhere. Here's the lake I live on. Here's the big giant reservoir that I told you guys about where they're going to burn that acreage. Look at that. It's only 45 minutes away from my house. There is rivers and lakes and streams and ponds and swamps and you name it everywhere, all throughout the entire state of New York. Look at the Finger Lakes right here. This is the Finger Lake region in the middle of New York. This is just big lakes, not to mention all the little streams and creeks and everything everywhere. New York is absolutely full of water. Look at all the water. Just look at it everywhere. There's the Atlantic Ocean. There's the Great Lakes. Ask the Canadians up in Canada. Here we are going up into Canada. Way up into the country of Canada. Ask any Canadian anywhere if there isn't just water everywhere you go in the country of Canada. There's almost nowhere you can die in Canada that you wouldn't be considered found next to water. Same thing for the state of Florida. Ask anybody that lives down in Florida if there isn't water everywhere in Florida. There's Florida right there, full of swamps, rivers, streams. You got the Gulf on one side. You got basically you drop dead anywhere in Florida, and they could say you'd be found next to water. Not to mention the entire Earth is 3/4 covered in water. The whole entire globe. So to say that someone when they die they're found near water, yeah, no kidding. Water is everywhere. Unless you live in the Sierra Desert, there's water everywhere throughout the United States. Now I'm going to show you guys something else that kind of matches up when you do an overlap. So basically, if you're found dead in the woods near water, it's like saying you're found dead near a tree, because water is literally everywhere. Now this right here is from the 411 cases, okay? This is a map of the hot spots. I'll have to loosen you up on my tripod. These are the hot spots of where people go missing. This map down below, right below it, is the map of where supposedly Bigfoot has been sighted. These are where all the sightings throughout the United States of America, as well as up into Canada, of where all the different people that have filed a report with their local authorities that they saw a Bigfoot or something resembling a Bigfoot. If you overlapped these two maps, it's pretty eerie how much it lines up. Because you got the congestion right here, right down through the northeast, as well as on this side, and then you got the congestion of the missing people on the west coast and up into western Canada, and it's the same thing with the Bigfoot. Now, everybody knows that the western region has always been like the capital, the Bigfoot capital of the world. But if you overlap these two maps, you can see the similarities, the resemblance. Okay, now we're going to go to a different map. Anybody that wants to do their own independent research, when you dig deep enough, you can find things that kind of make sense of why things are happening where they're happening and why they're happening. But when you look at the United States here, now this is from state government as well as the federal government data as far as people missing per 100,000 population state by state. Alaska is #1 for missing people. The second highest state is Arizona. And then it goes on from there, and it's mostly your western states versus eastern states like New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Wyoming, Montana, Washington, Oregon, and Nevada. Why California isn't lit up on here, I don't know, because a lot of people go missing in California as well. But there again, the area that is known for Bigfoot sightings has also the highest in missing people. Now, I don't even believe in Bigfoot at all, and I don't believe in coincidences, but there's definitely something going on, that there's reasons why the wooded areas of the United States are where people are going missing. Because even if you look at the 411 cases through the Midwest, Tornado Alley, it's almost non-existent. Like, for instance, Nebraska and Iowa basically has no 411 cases at all. And it's because it's almost treeless. They don't have anywhere near the trees and the massed forest that the East Coast and the West Coast has. So that tells me that there basically needs to be surveillance in the woods to find out what is going on in the woods. Because to tell you the truth, I don't think that just your typical outdoor deer cams are enough. I really don't. There needs to be some other type of technology used to find out if there's something different going on in the woods versus states that are less heavily wooded. The ones that are thicker and more dense, it seems like something is there causing this phenomena to happen. But when you start looking at the different maps, like this is the map of just missing people in general. This is not related to 411. This is just missing people in general. And for one thing, Pennsylvania is number 10th, ranked the highest in the United States for missing persons in the United States, 10th on the list. And also right here on the western end of New York and the northwestern end of Pennsylvania is one of the hot spots on the 411 map. Well, that's because it's heavily forested around here and there's water everywhere. So the chances of you being found, if you went missing and you succumbed to whatever caused you to go missing, let's say you were lost for weeks and you were found dead, the odds of you being found near a body of water or any type of water source would be pretty darn high. Now here's another map that I just drew up tonight to give you an example. Because what I don't hear is one statistic versus another. If a body is found, let's say in this location right here, a body is found, but it's within 200 feet of water, Does that justify saying the person was found near water just because there is a water source that's 200 feet away? When in fact the very trail that they wandered off or got lost from, the main trail that they disappeared on, could also be 200 feet away? Because if that is the case, then does it really make any difference if the trail is just as close to where the person is found as the water is? To say that the water is to blame over the trail? Because this is the side of the story I'm not hearing. Yes, maybe they were found near water, but how far from the water were they found versus how far from the trail that they originally headed out on? Near water really doesn't mean anything, you guys, because as it says down here, water is vitally important for survival, so it makes sense why people who are potentially lost would seek out a water source. That's just common sense. And I also wrote up here that water is everywhere in the wilderness, so the odds of being found near water is high. It's just high. I mean, don't take my word for it, you guys. Go on Google Maps, or Google Earth, go on Google Earth, type in your address to your home and let Google Earth zoom in, and then start to back out from your location and look at your own region of where you live, and just keep backing out and scanning all around where you live, and just look at how much water there is in the state that you live in. Use Google Maps to look at these sites of where people are found, and you will probably find that there's rivers, lakes, and streams, and swamps, and beaver dams, and every kind of water type that you could imagine. So there again, finding somebody near a water source, yeah, I'd say the odds are very high that someone's going to be found near water. It still doesn't explain what's happening to these people, but what I'm trying to convey is that I don't believe water has anything to do with it. Why? Because water is literally everywhere. When you go in the wilderness, I mean, water is going to be just as prevalent as the trees, just as prevalent as the mountains. It's going to be just as prevalent as the wildlife. It's everywhere. Like I said, unless you live in a desert state, you're going to find water in lush, green, beautiful forests. Wilderness with snow-capped mountains. There's going to be water everywhere. There always is, there always has been, and there always will be. So finding a body near water is irrelevant. It means nothing to me. Because like I said, put it to the test and check your own area on Google Earth, and you'll see what I'm telling you is true. You might even be amazed at how much water there is in your state, making up rivers, lakes, and streams, and creeks, and springs, and tributaries, and you name it. Swamps. Look at Florida. Look at Texas. Look at Montana. Look at Alaska. I mean, come on. Let's be real, you guys. That's all I wanted to say in this video, that the water relevance really means nothing. It means nothing. It really has nothing to do with it. You don't have to take my word for it. Most people that are found, whether they're on a 411 missing case or not, most people that are found really are found either near water or in the water. It doesn't mean anything. It happens. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.